Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. So excited to have Jesse Lee back with us live on the podcast and the Zoomcast today. Yes, he's the CEO of his own company, Lee's Coaching Consulting Services, based out of Bridgeport, Connecticut, close to us on Long Island, but he's helping serve those worldwide with his work. How are you today?
Good. How are you, Jill? I'm doing
I'm
awesome.
great. I don't know, but that's so weird. The second time it happened, I'm here. I'm here. I swear, I'm right here.
No
Um,
problem.
Great to see you. I know you are big into the psychology of people and focusing on that, and really to help people with strategies to have better self-esteem. So, let me have you introduce yourself, please, to start.
My name is Jesse Lee. I am an education coach, a life skills coach, and also a business coach. So I do a variety of things. I focus on the social emotional development and I focus on everyday struggles and challenges.
Beautiful. And how do we reach you if we're interested in your work? Could you give us the website, phone number, or anything?
Sure. Lee'sCoachingConsulting.com. My phone number is 203 526 2914.
All right. Well, let's break it down. I know we're going to start with if you could tell us how can someone really set clear and achievable goals for themselves? How do we start the process, Jesse?
Okay, in order to set clear and achievable goals for yourself, first, you have to accept your flaws and insecurities. That's the first thing. Because if you don't accept your flaws and insecurities, you're not going to know where to go. So now we accept our flaws and insecurities. We know what we're good at, we know what we're bad at. So now let's focus on the positive things. Let's focus on what we're good at. Let's focus on what we're comfortable with. That's the beginning step of starting clear and achievable goals because now I'm good at writing. I'm good at talking to people. I'm good at maybe nursing or in the medical field or in science. So that's the start of you setting your goals. Now, since you know what you're good at, let's start a career path. So let's write down some things, what we want to do and how to do it.
Got it. So the next process would be writing down those steps on how to achieve this, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So is it better to write them down, talk about them? How do you vision it, vision board it? What would you say? What steps do we take now to start improving these skills and our steps to success?
Well, Jill, what is helpful for me is it's good to write it down first.
Hmm.
And don't write down a lot of stuff because you're going to cloud your brain. So I want you to just write down three things of what you want to do. This is an example. The first thing, it could be, I want to go into the medical field. The second thing, it can be, I want to go to school. The third thing, it can be, I want to explore a hobby. Those are three things, right? So the first thing, if you want to go to medical school, now you have to do the research. So the things that you write, we must do research so we can create confidence in ourselves. Because if we don't do research, we're not going to be confident in our abilities to do it.
So we got to get that research down. We got to get situated. We want to put it on paper, pen to paper. Or some people put stuff in their phone, but I like writing it down so I could see it. Maybe even sticking some post-it notes up like I have in the office. I do that all the
Absolutely.
time to look at stuff like that. But, and then the next step, though, you mentioned about dealing with stress. Let's talk about that because I think a lot of us don't know how to manage our time and it stresses us out, right? Do you want to talk a little bit about time management, I think?
Yeah, you know what? And I was contemplating about this yesterday of how to deal with stress because my wife, she does so much and she just don't stop. So I tell her, wife, slow down and invest 5 minutes every 2 to 3 hours for yourself. 5 minutes. I call it a mini vacation, Jill. Shut the brain down.
And she can't, right? She's just on the go.
Yeah, it's just on the go. So
Most women are.
shut the brain down and put it into sleep mode for 5 minutes.
Okay.
After you put it into sleep mode, now you're going to think about something great. Think about a vacation. Think about something that you love to do. Just clear your mind of all the problems. Think about being in a spa, getting a manicure, getting a pedicure, whatever you're doing. Think about that thing for 5 minutes, and I guarantee you, your brain would just detox. It would just calm down. Close your eyes for 5 minutes. Once you open them, you're more alert, you're more productive, and you're ready to go.
All right. Well, what other strategies do you suggest for us to start overcoming some of our obstacles to achieve our goals?
Okay, some other strategies in overcoming the obstacles. First, we have to be confident of who we are. We have to set a
Mhm.
routine so we can be more confident of who we are. So let's say we wake up in the morning. I recommend for you to wake up in the morning 15 minutes early before your regular time. Okay. Wake up in the morning, say affirmations. I am someone special. I can do it. I'm great. I'm beautiful. Just look at yourself. And as you look at yourself in the mirror, this is gonna be like it's gonna be kind of boring and like, okay, well, I believe this, but I don't believe it. But if you consistently say it every day, it starts to come into you and you start to be able to be comfortable and feel that you can do things.
Yeah.
So those simple things are very helpful. Waking up in the morning, Jill, what I do is, which is so awesome, when I wake up in the morning, I just write a reflection of how my day went yesterday. And then after I write a reflection, now I write something. What am I going to do today? I'm going to be doing three things. Let me focus on those three things. Let me not wander or be distracted. I want to focus on those three things. And if I don't get those three things done, it's okay. The main thing is let's at least get one thing done, and then let's move on to the next thing.
Awesome. All right, I like that. And I know you also mentioned some strategies to more strategies to overcome obstacles and stress and how to really improve communication skills. That might be a difficult one for a lot of us, right?
Oh
Uh,
my goodness. This
communication's key, they say, but yeah,
y-
this is a tough one.
and you know what, Jill? A lot of people are not successful at their job, in their relationship, with a friend because of communication. If you set clear communication skills of how to interact, really saying how you feel, don't be afraid. That fear gets in the way of developing those soft skills that we need to be successful.
Yeah,
And you know what, Jill? I think fear causes you to be on autopilot. I always use this term
so true. Yeah,
because you can be in front of somebody and you could be talking to them, but you're not actually listening to them.
in another
And
world. Yeah.
no, you're just in another world and you're saying, okay, yeah, okay, I got it. And then all of a sudden the person said, well, did you hear what I said? And you can't even repeat the thing that they said because your brain is on autopilot instead of stopping. This is my thing and being in manual. Now let's be in stick drive. Let's figure things out. Let's
Mhm.
listen.
All right. So communication though is key and we want to talk more about improving that and how do we find this healthy and maintain a balance, I should say, right? Because I know you mentioned a healthy work life balance. It's not easy because some people have more of one than the other, lacks in some areas. I mean, how do you do both?
Okay, so this is the thing here, and it's not the strategy is not going to work for everybody about the 5 minutes every 2 to 3 hours because sometimes things get in the way, right? So now we have to figure out a time slot of just to decompose. The ones who work 9 to 5, it's kind of hard to kind of get that break other
Yeah.
than them having like a 12 noon lunch break, and that's like an hour. But at that time, you're not really decomposing. You're thinking about work. You're thinking about the things that you want to do. You're thinking about the deadlines. You're thinking about all these things. So you're not really able to decompose your mind. So, what the goal that I want for everyone is at the end of the day, if they can just take 15 minutes just to decompose, because we have kids. So now you're going to get the kids in the routine. Mom and dad, like when I walk in, I always tell my son, I always tell my daughter, you're going to have to give me 10 minutes because my brain has to slow down and I have to be ready to listen to you. is very key.
And
Set
how
expect
old are your kids again?
my daughter's 9 and my son is 15.
Okay, good. Your mine are 6 and 8. So excited back to school. Did they start last week too? Was it
They
after
started 2
Labor Day?
weeks ago. They started early because they go to private school, so they started a little early.
Good.
But,
Good to get
it's
back into routine.
yeah, it's so funny, Jill, because every time I'm having a conversation with my wife, sometimes my daughter comes rushing in and asking for a question. So I always tell my daughter, "Slow down, and can you wait a few minutes because I need to finish the conversation that I'm having." So we have to kinda give our spouse, our children, our friends, we have to give them
Yeah.
and create expectations for them and kind of show them this is what I want from you. And I want it on a daily basis so I can be able to think clearly and you can think clearly and then we can communicate and nobody's ignoring each other.
Awesome. All right. Let's remind everyone how we can reach you, Jesse Lee. Before we continue, we're not taking a break, but we want to remind everyone of the website, phone number, all forms of contact.
No problem. Lee'sCoachingConsulting.com. My email is jlee, Lee, number two, WIN at gmail.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. All right. And also, we're going to talk more today about maintaining that healthy work life balance and how to discover a passion you mentioned and align it with your career goals.
You
Mm,
discover your passion by finding your purpose. That's the
okay.
first thing, right? So we have to find why are we here on this earth? What are we supposed to do? And how are we going to affect people? Okay, so once we find our purpose, now we're able to discover what we really love to do.
Okay.
So finding your purpose. Okay, why am I here? Am I a great speaker? Am I a great listener? Do I love to help people? Do I love computers? Anything, what is your purpose here to affect people on earth? How are you going to influence people? So now you're going to figure out what you love to do. I love to read. I love to write. I love to organize things. I'm hands on, different things that you love to do. Now, since you know what you love to do, now we're going to create action. Let's write some things down. Let's figure it out. Okay, now I want to go into the nursing field. I want to be a nurse. Now I want to be a doctor. Let me go to law school.
Hmm.
Let me explore architecture. Let me do this. Let me do that. But I don't want your mind all over the place. So I
Yeah.
want you to kind of pinpoint if you love people, pinpoint three things. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a nurse. I want to be a counselor. Write down those three things. Then you're going to explore through trial and error.
All right, we're going to write everything down. We're going to also, again, I'm big with the Post-its and the vision boards as well. I think that helps with communication and knowing what you want. What else did you have in mind, Jesse? I just lost my internet, so I can't find my notes, but I know we have some more great topics,
Oh
but
my goodness.
waiting for it to reload. Where are we? Where are we?
uh, okay.
Oh, techniques to overcome here. It's back. Negative thinking. Yes. So
Okay.
keeping positive mindset. Thank you. There it is.
Okay, and you know what, Jill? And I can already feel the energy from you. So, in order for you to keep a positive mindset, be around like-minded people
I
who have the
agree.
same energy as you. We are old enough to decipher the energy. When we walk in a room, we already can feel.
It's so true.
We can feel like a sometimes we feel like weight on our back, and sometimes we feel like, ooh, I feel great. I can go for a run. I feel awesome. Look at all these people smiling. So it's the energy that you're around. So if you're around positive energy, you're going to be healthy and you're going to be able to reduce your stress. If you're around negative energy, your stress level is going to continue to go up. So you have a
Up and up
decision.
and up. Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
just to remind people, there are new listeners each and every week. What got you into this field of helping people with their lives? Could you share a little bit about your backstory as well?
Yeah, you know what, Jill? When I was 7 years old, I had the gift, and I was raised in church, of course, and I had a spiritual advisor, which was my grandmother. And she taught me about energy and love. Yes. And she's been my pastor and she's still my pastor. And she
Oh,
always teach me I am someone special. I can do anything. All things are possible with God. So that energy that dwells inside of me, I'm able to give the energy out and be able to affect everyone. Everyone have a different religion, I understand. Everyone believe in different things, but if my energy can affect people in a positive way to do better, to be better, to do the right thing, I know that I have an effect on this world
yeah.
if I just do that.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for being here, for joining us again, Jesse Lee. And by the way, do you offer an initial consultation if someone's interested in working with you? Do you offer a free session?
Absolutely. You go to my website. I have a free 15-minute consultation. We'll talk about things. We'll talk about your purpose. We'll talk about what you love to do. And we'll talk about this is the most important one, that Jill. How are you going to be happy?
Yeah.
Those are things that we're going to talk about because if you don't be happy, you can't succeed.
All right. Anything else you want to add to the positive mindset list? Maybe some advice or tips that we should be doing each and every day to keep that positivity up?
Stop. This is my three things: stop, breathe, think. When you stop, you're stopping everything that's going on in your mind and you're just going on pause. And as you stop, now you're going to breathe in
Okay.
all the stress that you have out in the day, all the tension, all the frustration, and you're going to breathe out calm and relax energy. After you breathe out, now you're going to be able to think clearly on your objective.
Perfect. All right, we're going to relax, breathe, reset our minds. That's always a good thing. And also, improving our decision making skills. I'm sure positive mindset can help with this. And how do we kind of make more confident choices? What do you recommend for that?
It's so funny, Joe, because the most thing that gets in the way of so many people is fear. It could be simply as fear
Yeah.
as riding a bicycle. And if you're afraid to get on that bike, you are not going to get on that bike. You're not going to move. You're not going to develop. You're not going to prosper. So if fear gets out of the way, now we're able to think clearly and be able to do the things that we want to do. We're able to change our mind. We're able to be more productive. So fear is something that really gets in the way. So that fear causes our mind to kind of be in that
Okay.
flight or flight situation. It gets us afraid.
So how do we stop it? But fear is also good, right? Because fear could inspire and instill new habits, right? So it's that
Yes, and
it's
and you know what? Yes, it's a good thing, and it can be a bad thing. So fear actually also causes us to move. Like let's say it's fear of losing money. So now we're gonna move, and now we're gonna apply for those jobs. Now we're gonna make sure we get those interviews. Now we're gonna make sure we be successful. So you can use fear in instrumental ways.
All right, good to know. Also, pointing out that Jesse Lee here is live with us on the show, on the podcast and Zoomcast today, talking about his life coaching and, of course, all the ways he can help us today. Jesse, if they want to reach out one more time, tell us the website.
Lee'sCoachingConsulting.com. My email is jlee number two win at gmail.com.
All
My
right.
phone number is 203-526-2914.
All right. Did you want to kind of talk about maybe some strategies that someone can kind of implement to create and maintain a positive lifestyle?
Okay, so and this is the thing here. In order to create a positive lifestyle, you have to make a decision. And it's hard to make a decision to kind of change our mindset.
Okay.
So sometimes once you get rid of that fear, now you need to think positive of what the things that you're doing good, the things that you're good at. Okay, so now okay, I'm good
Hmm.
at communicating with people. So focus on that positivity of being able to communicate with people so you can progress. Okay, after you focus on that positive creativity of doing that, now you can move on to things that you want to do. So write down some things that you want to do and kind of be uncomfortable a little bit, but the more you think about the good things, then you're able to progress. So make a decision to move. Don't wait too long to make a decision. The book Mel Robbins, it talks about the 5-second rule.
Okay.
So in 5 seconds, you trick your brain to make a decision real quick. So play that game. Yeah, yeah. And
Never
you know
heard of
what?
that.
Yes,
Could you just
Mel
elaborate on that?
Robbins.
Okay.
I always listen to Mel Robbins. The 5-second rule. So if you do five, four, three, two, one, I want to go to eat, right? So
Okay.
once you get to one, you're going to make a decision. I'm going to go out to eat. Or, okay, I'm going to go to the coffee shop, or I'm going to go visit a friend. That 5 seconds trick your brain into making a decision, and now you're able to practice making a decision. And as you make the simple decisions, now you're able to practice making the difficult decisions quickly. But in order for, remember,
Wow.
after that 5-second rule, the psychological trick, now you have to do research, Jill. So after you make that decision, okay, now I'm going to go into the nursing field. Do research right away. Google what you have to do to go into the nursing field. Google the schools. Google the career, the expectations, the financial, whatever you want to do. Okay, make a decision. Research. After you research, now you build your confidence up. You can do it because now you know what the field is about, and now you can you either go to the left or go to the right, and now you're able to make a decision clearly.
Beautiful. I like that. Thank you for that. And I never heard of that. I'm sorry. I never, listened to Mel. So, now I'm interested. Does he also have a book?
She, Mel
Oh,
Robbins.
oh, okay. See, I don't even know.
Yes,
I never
she.
heard of. Okay.
And the great thing about it is she was in her 40s and she's from Boston. And she didn't really know what to do. She was complacent in life. And she said one day she woke up and she just said, I'm tired of this. She said, I have to do something to change my life. And she just got up and she said, okay, let me go for a run. That's the start of the day. That's the start of doing something different. And then she started to trick her brain even more. So I suggest anybody to read that book, The 5-Second Rule. I have it in my library.
Okay.
It helps you make decisions. And I go by that philosophy because it helped me become successful.
Awesome. Well, how can someone accept change and overcome fear when changing? I know that's one of the last things on our sheet for today. Do you want to
Oh,
elaborate on that?
Jill, a lot of us, and some of us do like change, but a lot of us don't like change. What I realize is we have to accept change because in the book Mastery is another book by Robert Greene. When you change, you start to develop your identity and you start to understand who you really are
Yeah.
and how you really are with people. So as you accept that change, now you're able to adapt. Now you're able to point out the things you don't like. Now you're able to point out the things you like. Jill, I have a question for you. When
Sure.
you
Go
get
ahead.
older, it seems like some things you already know you can't tolerate, and some things you already know that you could tolerate, right?
Absolutely. Kind of set in
Yes,
your ways. Yes.
of course, of course. But as you get older and as you need to change your environment. I suggest everyone to change their environment. So me coaching my clients, jump into different environments so you won't be so you won't be set in your own ways. You can be open-minded and you're able to see things differently. So you're gonna change, you're gonna develop, but it needs to be you need to develop like a flower
Yeah.
and be able to be open to everything and take in everything and then digest what you want and what you don't want.
Because we have one life to live. Why not? Might as well make it the best, right? That's
Absolutely.
what I say. The pandemic really inspired me. And I think a lot of us, like, whoa, we were all in this epidemic and all of us were affected. And it's like, now is the time to change. And we realize how precious life is. And we're all in the same boat of losing everything. And it's like, we can make comebacks. Look, we're all, thank God bless my family, my friends, they're survived. Everyone's okay. And it's like, but it makes you realize life is so precious and so short. Might as well take advantage and make it the best possible and do all the things that we want to do. Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, to sum it up for today, Jesse, what did you want to leave with everyone?
I want to leave the word faith.
Okay.
Let's think about it as believing
Okay.
without seeing. Okay. Some people think as faith as spiritual. They
Okay.
believe in God. Some people think as faith as seeing something. They just can feel it. I'm going to get that new house. I'm going to get that new car. I'm going to
Mhm.
jump into that career. That faith causes you to be successful because now you're able to create action. So I feel everyone needs to be able to have that quality, faith. If you don't see it, but if you feel it, Jill,
Yeah.
you can be successful.
Love it. Love it. And we got to keep our mindset up and positive and happy. And Jesse, how can we do that with you? Would you mind sharing how we can reach out to you?
You can reach out to me at leescoachingconsulting.com. My phone number is 203-526-2914. My email is jlee, L-E-E, number 2, W-I-N, @gmail.com.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, for joining us. And really, always a pleasure to have you here and your positivity. And thank you for inspiring me. And I'm sure many others today as well.
Thank you, Jill. And it's so good to see your face.
You too. I know we got to talk. It's our first time on the Zoomcast, so it's great to see you. I love the connection. You're awesome. Best of luck
Absolutely.
with your family today, getting the homework done, getting everything through. Right, right, right. Yeah.
Yes,
Good.
absolutely.
All right. Enjoy. We'll talk soon. Have a fantastic day. To all of our listeners, stay tuned. More of the show is coming right up.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.